I'm on the floor and y'all know what that means. We're doing some repots. Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Matt. I have a couple of plants in my prop box that I want to get out and put into semi-hydro. I have one plant that I want to size up and pot up with some cuttings, and I also have one plant that I want to put on a moss pole. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. If that sounds good to you, grab yourself a cozy little beverage, snack, maybe some repots of your own, and let's get the party started. It is a beautiful sunny day, and I love to film when it's sunny and nice outside and the sun is coming into the studio and just filling me with so much joy and energy. First things first, we're gonna jump into my prop box and pull out two plants that I want to be potting up today. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a closer look. This is my prop box, and she is pretty freaking full, but the two plants that I want to work with today are my Silver Hero / Scindapsus Platinum cuttings. These have been rooting in here for, I would say, when did I get this plant? Maybe like 2 months ago or so. And I have two cuttings in here, and these are gonna go into semi-hydro. I also have like the base of this plant, so all of those are gonna be moving into semi-hydro. And then I have my I almost called this an alocasia. This is not an alocasia. It is a Calathea Warshawitzi. So this is another one that I want to put into semi-hydro. These are wet stake propagations I took of my mother plants that unfortunately croaked, and as you can see, she has some beautiful roots and actually a new leaf on the way. And I have two of these, both of them are very well rooted, so those are also going to go into semi-hydro because I don't want to mess with soil. I'm definitely loving semi-hydro so much more lately, and I feel like for some of my difficult planties, semi-hydro is definitely the way to go. I don't take a look at this prop box often, and I'm seeing a lot of great progress. Like my Warocqueana wet sticks are all waking up. I have an old Choco wet stick. I have some Milano wet sticks. So yeah, but these I'm just gonna go ahead and leave for a bit longer. So these two plants are gonna go into semi-hydro. I have some self-watering pots that I got from Amazon, and I love these pots because they actually have the insert that you can take out. I like to have the ability to take out my plants and thoroughly flush them, give them a shower, etc. So I really like these self-watering pots that have the insert, and I don't have a lot of experience with self-watering pots, but we shall see how this will go. Hopefully well. Let's start maybe with the Calathea Warshawitzi because I feel like she has like more sensitive roots that tended to dry out faster. So I have some Soil Ninja semi-hydro over here. This is the only semi-hydro that I use, and I really like their semi-hydro. It is a bit dusty, but honestly, all semi-hydro is a bit dusty. I find that I have pretty good success with this semi-hydro, so yeah, that's why I tend to use it. And I'm gonna definitely fill like at least like half of this with some semi-hydro so that the roots aren't sitting in water. Now these roots have been growing in my perlite prop box, so obviously they are accustomed to kind of a semi-hydro lifestyle, so hopefully this transition will be a lot easier. But I do plan on actually maybe keeping these for just a little bit longer in like a high humidity environment, maybe putting them in like just a bigger box, just so they don't go from like, 100% humidity to my very dry studio, because I had the heat blasting in here because it was so cold these days. And like the humidity literally dropped to like below 30, and I'm like, oh, that is not good. So I might keep this plant in like a separate container just so she can acclimate a little bit more to her new environment, and then I will kind of like slowly slowly remove her out of that high humidity environment and acclimate her down to my regular room humidity, because this is just such a stunning plant and I love her. I love this calathea. This is my favorite calathea ever, but it is a very, very difficult plant in my opinion. But she is absolutely stunning. And there we go. Look how cute she is. I mean, come on. She is so cute. And I love the combo with the black pot. So yeah, she is done, and I will definitely be watering her thoroughly later on. And then I will put some diluted fertilizer in here as well. I don't want to like shock them instantly. So next one we're going to be working on is the Scindapsus platinum, and I have two cuttings over here, and I have the base of the plant over here, and the base of the plant is just a stump, and it's a stump in some kind of like tree fern fiber perlite mix, I would assume. This is the substrate that the plant came in, and yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out and transition it to semi-hydro. Now again, this is just a stick, so I don't know exactly how it will do, but we will just see. And I will definitely be reusing this substrate because it has tree fern fiber, and honestly, tree fern fiber is amazing. Oh my god, look at how nicely that just crumbles. That is wonderful. That's why we love tree fern fiber. I do have some broken roots, but that is not a big deal at all. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove those. But yeah, this is just a stumpy stump, but I do have like a growth point activated over here, so this should start growing within no time. I do find that Scindapsus are kind of like they take a while to get established and get going, but once they do, they are pretty steady growers, I would say. And I have all of my Scindapsuses in soil, and they're doing fine in soil, like definitely fine, but I just want to try it in semi-hydro because I don't know, I honestly just want to try it, and I really want to grow like a nice bushy silver hero / platinum, and I think semi-hydro is the way to go in order to achieve that goal. So yeah, we will see. Obviously, if this plant doesn't like it, obviously I will just, you know, I can always transition it back to semi-hydro. And this plant did have these two leaves. These were actually the original leaves that the plant came in with, but I just chopped those instantly because I knew that I wanted to create a more lush pot. So yeah, and this one is already like pushing out a new baby. So I'm not gonna go ahead and rinse these roots, like they are pretty clean, so I don't feel the need to rinse them. I'm just gonna go ahead and pot them all together. So I'm gonna put some semi-hydro down. And when potting up semi-hydro plants, I just make sure that the roots aren't touching the bottom of the reservoir, because obviously that could lead to issues such as root rot. I tend to plant my semi-hydro plants a little bit higher, and then with time, the roots will find their way down into the water, and then they will be more acclimated to the water because they will be mostly water roots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of haphazardly place these. Like whenever you plant up plants, it looks crazy, but then after some time they will obviously adjust, so I'm not too worried. Did I just? No, I did not. Okay, I thought I buried the growth point, but I did not, so it is all Gucci. All is Gucci, and I really hope this plant will do well for me. This is one that I wanted for quite some time, and it is a stunning, beautiful plant. So I really hope that she will do well. Just gonna give it a little tappa. She's done. Silver hero, platinum, whatever you want to call this. And I really, like, if this were to fill out, like, imagine how cool it would look with the like white foliage and the black pot. That will look stunning. We are done with the semi-hydro plants for now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put my semi-hydro to the side, And I'm gonna move on to the next plant, which is my trailing pot of Epipremnum pinnatum albo. And this thing literally lives up at the top of my vitro shelf in literally no light, and she's doing great. Like, she is actually like pushing out some new growth and looking really, really nice. Like, this is such a nice little filler plant, and she is very, very root bound, as you can see. Like, she is extremely root bound. And you know what? As a reward for growing well and growing nicely, I'm gonna be potting her up. So she currently lives in, I believe this is like a 15 centimeter pot. Yeah, 15 centimeter. And I'm gonna be moving her to a 19 centimeter, just giving her a nice little size up. And I also have some cuttings of her over here. These are some cuttings that I had rooting for some time, and I think they should all be, yeah, there are some really, really nice roots on here. So these are gonna be potted up together, and I'm actually just gonna go ahead and reuse some of this tree fern soil that I had over here from the platinum. Let's go ahead and unpot her and see what we are working with. I'm pretty sure that all the roots would be good. Like, this is an epipremnum after all, so it's not a demanding plant. Yeah, you can see that root ball. She is, I mean, she's not like horribly rooted, but I definitely think she could use an upsize. If nothing else, I will have to water her less, which is great because this plant does tend to dry out, and since it does live at the top of my vitro shelf, and since it is such a kind of resilient plant, I often neglect it. So this will probably keep her more watered for longer. I have some leftover scraps soil. This is just soil that came from like other plants, so I'm gonna reuse what I have in here, because why use up fresh soil when I have this old soil that will absolutely be fine for this plant. So I'm actually gonna put a little bit more. Actually, I'm gonna put everything in here. There we go. Perfect. Then I'm gonna plop in the plant. Actually, maybe no, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the cuttings. Ooh, this one is really nice. Look at that. Look at those roots, and she is like working on a new leaf as well. That is a really, really nice cutting. I'm gonna go ahead and put her over here. And then this one only has like the tiniest little root, but that's okay. I'm just gonna put her inside. If she roots, she roots. This one unfortunately didn't make it, and you can see like the leaves are yellowing and curled and not looking good, and the stem has no roots, and that is normal. Sometimes plants just don't root. And then we have one final one, which is just one leaf cutting, but she has a nice long root, so I'm gonna be placing her inside. I mean, this is not bad. Like, we placed 3 new cuttings in here, so she will definitely be a lot more bushier. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So let me go ahead and grab my soil. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have some Monstera and Philodendron Soil Ninja mix over here. So I'm gonna use that to backfill her and make her look nice. You really gotta appreciate such a hardy and resilient and low maintenance plant, because obviously I love a good challenge. I do, and I love those really rare, beautiful plants that are sometimes difficult to grow. And I think it's fun to like figure out, you know, how to make them happy, but also you gotta give it up for these like easy care plants like pothos and, you know, Hoyas and stuff like that. Just plants that can thrive on neglect, and plants that don't need a lot of constant care. I think I think being in this plant hobby, it's important to have kind of a balance of both, because obviously if all your plants are easy care and you don't have to touch them for weeks and weeks on end, I personally, that doesn't bring me like joy, obviously to each their own, but I like pottering around with my plants, I like playing around with them, and I like to figure them out. Obviously I'm sad when something goes wrong, but also it's a great opportunity to learn. So I think it's all about just having a good balance of, those easy care plants that are reliable and that can survive some neglect, but also having some of those plants that challenge you, that make you think, that make you kind of learn new things. For example, I always thought that I wasn't going to use semi-hydro ever. It was never something that appealed to me, and then I tried it with my alocasia frydek just because I wanted to crack the code on that plant, and everybody was saying how semi-hydro was the solution. And it really just paid off, and now I am loving semi-hydro. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have had that learning experience if I didn't have to face that challenge with like such a difficult plant. But honestly, gotta love a easy plant. And look at this leaf, this new leaf. It has some beautiful variegation. Loves it. She is done. Epipremnum pinnatum, albo. I do have a marble actually, but this is the albo. And hopefully she won't be needing a repot anytime soon, and hopefully she will be happy in this setup for quite a long time. Why do I insist on wearing white clothes when I'm working with plants? I will never know. I will never know. But we are on to our final plant, and this one is super exciting, y'all. It is my Monstera Bullimoxis Flame, and I love her. She has been rooting in here for a bit of time, basically ever since I got her. She is in tree fern fiber, and I wanna put her on a moss pole and also put her in a bigger pot so she can start growing and giving me those beautiful lobster claw leaves. I am so excited for this plant. I'm so excited to see her grow and mature, and I really hope that this plant will do well for me. Now, I do know that this plant is an extremely slow grower, but I don't mind that. As long as she gives me like good, healthy, satisfying growth, and as long as she doesn't tank, I will be happy with that. This plant arrived as like a tiny little plug plant. It had maybe, I think these 3 leaves were the original, and then these 2 were grown in my care, and this one is like the latest leaf that like literally emerged maybe 2 weeks ago. And I had it growing under a cloche for, I would say about 2 months. And then I removed the cloche and just kind of let it get used to my room humidity. And now that it's used to my room humidity, I feel comfortable moving her to a bigger pot and potting her onto a moss pole. I find that the Monsteras don't necessarily need a pole, but this is a plant that I really wanna size up. I wanna see those cool fenestrated leaves, so I'm gonna put her on a moss pole. And as you can see, she has some stunning, gorgeous roots. I find that Monsteras have some of the best roots in the plant world. Like, these roots are so nice and so satisfying. For her, I'm gonna be using my chunkier mix. This is Soil Ninja's Anthurium and Orchid mix mixed with a little bit of tree fern fiber. And the reason why I'm gonna be using this mix is because I will be putting her on a moss pole. This is a chunkier mix, so even if some of the moss pole water gets into the mix, it shouldn't cause any problems. But again, I don't think I had a single Monstera rot on me. That's wrong. No, I had the Monstera stendaliana rot on me, but honestly that wasn't like a big issue because I was able to recover the plant. But yeah, I'm gonna be putting her in a 12 centimeter pot, and I'm gonna be putting her onto one of these D-shaped closed back moss poles from a plant scraper. So I'm first gonna just pot up the plant normally like I would, and then later on I will fill the moss pole. I find that that is a better way for me to work with moss poles rather than filling them and then, you know, potting up the plant, especially when I'm potting up like a small plant like this. Because obviously there isn't like a lot of space to work with. But yeah, there she is. She's so cute. I don't know where the aerial roots will come out of, so I think I'm just gonna plant her like this. I think this should be the back. If it's not, I can always easily fix it. So yeah, shouldn't be too big of a problem. I think this is gonna be the last cold episode of the season, at least I hope so. The forecast is saying that we're finally gonna get some more warmer weather, which I am really excited about, because I feel like I say it in every single video, but I'm just so sick of winter. I'm so ready just for spring. I'm so ready for warmer weather, for more sun. I am just ready. I'm ready. I'm done with this depressive season. I want to be happy. I want my plants to be happy. I feel like they have really been suffering this winter because it has been so much colder than the year prior. And I had to blast the heat up here, which obviously isn't good for them. So I'm really looking forward to the springtime. So we have her potted up, looking like a cute patootie. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and fill the moss pole with moss. I have some moss pole mixture over here. There is like sphagnum moss here and some, orchid bark. I think there's also a little bit of tree fern fiber in here. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this moss pole up, and I really hope that this plant will like this setup. The only other monstera that I have on a moss pole is the Stendaliana, and that one loves the moss pole, so I'm sure this one will also really appreciate it. Also, my plan is to keep this plant in my east-south facing window, because that way it can get like a lot of bright light in the summertime. So I think that should be pretty good for this plant. I just grabbed my big ass bamboo stick, and I'm just gonna go ahead and shove the moss down into the pole. God, filling up these moss poles is always so freaking messy. Like, I love what moss poles do for my plants. Like, they are amazing for your house plants. But the mess they make, good God, it is inhumane. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. Maybe it would be easier if I worked with dry moss. Girl, I don't know. But this is literally so messy. And I said I wasn't gonna be adding like any more moss poles to my collection, and here I am adding more moss poles to my collection every month. But like, it's just that I really want to bring out the best in my plants. I know that I don't have ideal conditions where my plants can just grow up beautifully on like a stake, and that they really do need that extra support. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, because obviously I want my plants to thrive and do well, but like moss poles are quite a bit of work. They are quite a bit of work, but at least like I'm using now these plastic back moss poles, which are They're like easier to maintain and keep wet and stuff like that. So yeah, at least there is that. At least there is that. And she is done. Burly Marx's flame. I am really excited for this plant. Let me know if you have this plant and what has your experience been growing it. I am really curious to hear your thoughts. But yeah, she is a really cutie pie. She is such a pretty plant. I love her. As per usual, I made such a freaking mess. But on that note, I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Leave me a nice comment down below. Until next time, I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous day, and goodbye. Oh, why do I always make such a mess? God.